Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Jarvis here, and you're with me on my IG, my FB, my YouTube, but it's still Jarvis TV, and I'm so glad to have you here with me tonight. So tonight we're gonna have a great conversation. That conversation is gonna be it's all about emotions. That's what tonight's conversation is. It's all about emotions. So we're gonna start tapping into this emotional intelligence. Even with tapping into this emotional intelligence, there's just some things that I want to make sure that we hit on. We had a great conversation last night. That conversation last night was Life Is, and it was a dash part two. We had Life Is part one and Life Is part two. So before we get started, what I'm going to do, because we have the Impact Rally coming up this weekend, you all, and I'm so excited. The Impact Rally is coming up this weekend. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run that first commercial. And after this commercial break, we're going to come right back and we're going to dive into this conversation. It's about to be a great conversation. And please feel free to join in the conversation. I hope that you guys can hear me well. I'm trying something a little bit different over on IG as far as like the sound quality. I learned that one of the devices I was using for sound wasn't quite working as well as I wanted it to, but hey, it is what it is. So I'm about to run this commercial, and after this commercial, we'll come back and we'll start diving into this conversation. So stick around. It's all about emotions. We're going to be tapping into this emotional intelligence. Now, if you want to see the commercials and you want to actually partake in the fun on that end, just go ahead and log in over on YouTube, Jarvis Henderson TV, or hit me up over there on Facebook, The Original Jarvis. All right. So let's get started. Let's go to this commercial break, and we'll be right back after this commercial break. Yo, so welcome back from the commercial. You are with me, your boy Jarvis, and we're on Jarvis TV. This is IG. So what's up to all my people over on IG? I've seen quite a few people jump in. I see his last 1995. What up, girl? How you doing? It's good to see you. Legal Scorpion, thank you for adding all that value to the conversation last night. It's great to see you as well. And then I also see, let's see who else I see. 13 Orchids, what's up? How's it going? Go do something. That's my team in the building. How you guys doing? And to all my people that are over here on the Wisdom app, shout out to you. I can't necessarily see you, but you can definitely show me some love. And so let's have a good conversation tonight. I want to go ahead and put out the rules of engagement now. Okay. These rules of engagement are as follows. If you would like to come up and be a part of the conversation at any point at any time, please feel free to do so. You can do that by just jumping up into the conversation. All right. You request to join. Now, if you're over on Instagram, all you got to do is request to join with the little camera button, and I'll bring you up on the camera so we can have a good conversation. I see. Okay. What's up? I see. I am Wayne McKnight Jr. How you feeling? Good to see you. If you are over on YouTube, Facebook, I actually just put into the comment section the actual link if you would like to join live and join the conversation. And if you're over here and you're on Wisdom, the Wisdom app, please just request to join, ask to join, and I'll bring you up. Everybody will have 5 minutes with me. Some people may go a little bit longer because, there's a lot of substance that's out here that we can talk about. So with all that being said, let's get into this conversation. Your boy is excited about this one. Yes, I am definitely excited about this one. You're probably like, well, why are you so excited about this one? I'm excited about this one because we spent a couple of days talking about life and what life is, and how we go through life, and the important dates in life, right? And those important dates that we have in life, it's said that the most important dates in your life are the day that you're born and the day that you realize why you're born. However, there are so many dates in between that create this dash, and the dash of your life is really where your story is told. The dash of your life is really where your legacy is created. The dash of your life is really where your impact is made. And there's those people who didn't get a chance to make an impact until it was all said and done, or they didn't see the fight that they were fighting for, but we are experiencing the fight that they fought for because they lived their dash to the fullest. Now, for every single person that's out here, there's going to be some good things that we're going to drop. And I encourage you to jump in on the conversation. I encourage you to get in with me and ask some questions. I encourage you to put things in the chat, and really let's talk about it. But tonight's conversation, we're talking all about emotions. So in talking about emotions, one of the things that we need to hit on is emotional intelligence. Now, we can't fully talk about emotions. And let me kind of back up from the camera. I'm sorry. I'm all up in the camera on y'all. We can't fully talk about emotions until we tap into this emotional intelligence. And for those of you who probably have never heard of emotional intelligence, I went ahead and I got you a dictionary definition of what emotional intelligence is, and then we'll break it down and we'll start talking about it. So emotional intelligence, this is the ability to perceive, use, understand, manage, and handle emotions. It is the ability to perceive, use, understand, manage, and handle emotions. And a part of emotional intelligence is you being able to understand how to handle your own emotions and recognize how your emotions are affecting other people. Now, this is big if you're an entrepreneur. This is big if you work in the workspace. This is big if you are I don't care where you work or who you deal with. It's big if you're a parent. It's big if you're in a relationship. Emotional intelligence is essential. It's an essential piece to your communication. And I say that because I mean that. It is an essential piece to your communication. Let me give you an example. Have you ever been somewhere and your day just started off wrong? And because your day started off wrong, somebody stepped on your toe and all of a sudden you cussing them out. Now, you may not literally be cussing them out, but in your mind, you flipping out on them. In your actions, you're being cold to them. In the way that you're operating and you're moving, you're basically being disrespectful to them. And in that moment, you're not even really upset with them. It's just that your emotions, based on the things that your day started off with, have now caused you to react to somebody in a way that's going to cause them to say, hey, I don't even want to deal with this person. I don't even want to help this person. Or here's another one. Have you ever called in to try to get help with something on a call line or something, and then the person on the other end of the line, they're not really answering your questions, and so you just get fuming hot, and now you're yelling at them, let me talk to your boss. We have no idea what that person on the other end of that line is dealing with, but I can tell you this, that person on the other end of the line is not the source of your problem. It's not the source of why you're angry. It's not the source of why you're charged up the way you are. It's just the way that we react. It's the way that we put these things into action because of what we're already dealing with in our life. So when I'm talking about emotional intelligence, and I'm talking about your ability to perceive, use, understand, manage, handle emotions, I'm talking about, let's deal with us first. Let's deal with me first. And I'm not talking about you dealing with me. I'm talking you deal with you. You point at yourself and say, I'm going to deal with me first. I want to see you win. And if you don't take the time to be self-aware enough to start identifying your personal emotions and what you're going through, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because what you do when you set yourself up for failure by focusing in and not really paying attention to your emotions is you don't know how to handle somebody else's emotions because you don't even pay attention to the fact that you're dealing with emotions. As leaders, and I know that there's a lot of you that are leaders, whether you're leading your family, leading your peer group, leading your team at work, you're a leader. As leaders, you run into people who have situations, and if you don't have control or take handle of the emotions that you're experiencing, then you can't effectively communicate with those people on the other end. Remember what I said just a moment ago. Emotional intelligence is a key component to great communication. Now, let's look at this. Your ability to perceive, your ability to use, your ability to understand, your ability to manage, your ability to handle. So the ability to perceive, your perception, somebody else's perception. It's said that perception drives truth. Matter of fact, perception sets the perspective for someone else who's looking at you, and it sets the perspective that you, as on a way that you look at others or look on situations, because it's all about how you perceive something to be. And some of you are like, well, what do you mean? Well, think about it. How many times have you said something to somebody or you sent a text message to somebody and they read it wrong? So their perception on what you were trying to say or what you were trying to do is way off. They perceived it based off of what they saw. So now their perspective of what it is that you want from them or their perspective of what it is that you're trying to do is wrong because their perception is off. That's why we start with the ability to perceive. If you perceive the emotions of the person that you're dealing with wrong, then now you're setting yourself up and that person up for failure because you don't even have a handle on your emotions. And I keep talking about this handle on your personal emotions because that's where it all starts. If you can't possibly imagine what it would be like. Matter of fact, you can't even begin to perceive what somebody else's emotions are if you don't have a handle on your own emotions. As leaders, right? As leaders, let me tell you this. As leaders, one of the things that's key is when you understand how you're feeling because it helps you respond and react to others and how they're feeling. Now, I'm gonna give you some keys on this. You right? You ready? You ready? So we're gonna get some keys on this. The let's say that as let's start simple. As a parent at home, you wake up, you stub your toe. Man, dang, that hurts. You go into the bathroom and you get ready to brush your teeth and you're out of toothpaste. Oh my God. Then you jump in the shower and you get ready to take a shower and you're out of soap. What in the world? Who did not buy the soap? Then you call yourself trying to get ready and your favorite shirt that you wanted to wear, it's got a stain in it. Now you go downstairs and you start prepping for the kids to come down and get them ready to go out to school, right? Or get them ready for their day. And as you're prepping to get them ready for their day, they come down and let's say that your child comes down and they leave a spoon on the table. You look over and now you are infuriated. What are you putting that spoon on the table for? Put the spoon in the sink. Matter of fact, wash the spoon. All right. Now let's back up. Why are you going off on your child over a spoon that they left on the table? Well, I'll tell you why. Because you stubbed your toe, you're out of toothpaste, there's no soap, and your favorite shirt is messed up. But if you yourself don't identify that for yourself, now your child is taking on the energy that you picked up that morning just from things not being in place the way that you want them in place. Now, let's roll into your child. Your child goes to school. Your child goes to school, just got in trouble for something that they feel like, man, this isn't even really that big of a deal, but man, okay, whatever. They're on their way to school. Somebody's talking to them on the bus. Man, shut up. You ain't got nothing to say to me. All right. So they go back and forth on the bus. Then they get into the classroom and the teacher says something to them. You ain't my mama. You ain't my daddy. They're going off on the teacher. Then you get a call from the principal because your child has been disrespectful in class. And now you got to go up to the school. Why is your child acting the way that they're acting? Well, because when they were at home, their mom or dad stubbed their toe, was out of toothpaste, was out of soap, and their favorite shirt was messed up so they couldn't wear it that day, went off on them for something small. That then compounded itself and carried itself into your child's day. And now your child is taking that energy that you gave to them, and now they're rolling that off on somebody else. Now, that is just a simple equation of how that emotional piece can start to build up. Now, if you were tapping into your emotional intelligence when your child left the spoon on the table, instead of you popping off on them, you would stop and be like, hey, sweetheart, can you do me a favor? Can you get that spoon for mommy and just put it in the sink and we'll take care of it this afternoon? Or father, hey, baby girl, can you do daddy a favor? Can you go ahead and just grab that spoon for daddy and put that in the sink and I'll give you a ride to school? Being intentional, because now you understand that your anger behind the spoon is no longer about the child leaving the spoon on the table. It doesn't matter how many times you told that child not to do it. It's more bent into what happened. Stubbing your toe, not having the toothpaste, not having the soap, and your favorite shirt not being clean, so you can't wear it. Now what happens is when your child goes to school, they have a great day at school and they react better to other people. What I just did is I just showed you the domino effect of how your personal emotional intelligence and you perceiving where your emotional intelligence is at, not just perceiving it, but you're perceiving it and you have the ability to see it, and you started using that emotional intelligence because you understood how you were feeling. You managed how you reacted to the situation and you handled it so well that now that compounds itself into a great day for your child. You know, and there's a lot of parents that can relate to that. I'm sure that there's a lot of parents that can relate to that. Now, I got a comment over here on Facebook, and so what's up, Tatasha Renee? She go ahead. She puts a comment. She says we must keep our emotions in check. Emotionally charged interactions can instantly ruin what may have taken years to build. Wow, that's good. It's a business or yeah, it's a business or relation or in whether it's business or in relationships. That's good. So I'm going to read it again so that I don't botch up what she said and you guys can understand it. She said, "We must keep our emotions in check. Emotionally charged interactions can instantly ruin what may have taken years to build, whether it's a business or relationships." That is a perfect way to put that. A great way to put that out there. So I have somebody over here that's ready to tap in with us. Oh man, it's my guy Dominic Harris. He's going to come in with us over here on the Wisdom app. We're going to bring Dominic up so he can join the conversation. We're talking about emotions. It's all about emotions, and I just gave you guys a rundown on some emotional intelligence. And please feel free to add your questions and your comments. Yo, my man Dominic, what's up, my guy?
Hello, sir.
It's good to hear your voice, Mr. Chicago, out there in the city of wind, right?
Yes, sir. It's great. It's great to hear you as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what you got for us? You got a question or you want to add some value to the conversation?
Just value to the conversation, sir.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. And I'll tell you what, you ain't even got to call me sir, man. You can just call me Jarvis.
Alrighty then, Jarvis.
I appreciate it, Dominic, man. Let's talk about it.
I just want to use like a quick example.
Go ahead.
I believe you have you ever watched Naruto?
Yes, I have watched Naruto.
Shikamaru's dad, the one that the Hokage's assistant.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, as a strategist, I believe like in seeing the whole. And how much of the whole and as an emotional as a strategist, like emotions are important and keeping them in check. Because any rash decision can cause like us to like lose a battle or some stuff. But,
yes.
Just seeing the whole and why the part to the whole is important. I feel like that's important as well. Like I just believe in like the whole of and let's say a war. Like what causes the war? Like seeing the whole of it. Like seeing the battlefield from the clouds or above the chessboard. Or I'm not really a chess player, but I just.
Are you a video game player?
But yeah.
Are you a gamer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you don't have to use a chessboard, but what game do you play that you have to be able to see the whole board? Like what type of games do you like to play?
I used to play Apex and Call of Duty.
Okay, boom, perfect. Apex, Call of Duty. They have a map, right? And on the map, you can see the whole board. You can even see where your enemies are coming from.
Yes, sir.
Right. So what's the importance of your seeing all that? Because you're onto something great. You're saying like it's about seeing the whole board. So you didn't even got to use chess. Let's use Call of Duty and Apex. They're both battle games. Like run with that.
Let's say Call of Duty for example. Call of Duty like Nuketown. That's a favorite map for lots of people.
Okay.
Knowing the spots, knowing the map as a whole, you can get a feel for where the enemy will come.
Yes.
The ally, you get a good placement for where the allies are. Seeing the whole of the map.
Right.
You get like a visual for where the allies are, the angles, where the enemies would come. What'll be a good spot for you to do something like say, through a lethal, through a frag grenade, or sometimes you got to step back. Sometimes you got to apply pressure. Sometimes a kill that way wouldn't be like a good decision because it's an open spot where an enemy could pop off at you somewhere over here.
Yeah.
So it's like I believe in like when you can see like the whole from like I'm not really that good at Call of Duty, but
it's okay. But you making a good point. So go ahead, run with it, man.
It's just seeing the whole as like because then when you're emotional, because now you can keep your emotion, you can make conscious decisions based off what we know as the whole.
I got you.
It's not just not emotional reactions or impulses because you see an enemy. Now you can make rational decisions because now your back is open.
Right.
And your teammate just died. Oh, and it's an enemy behind you and in front of you, and you want to kill the enemy that's in front of you, but he's not even paying attention to you.
Right.
And now you probably got the kill, but now you just got killed in the back. And now your nuke just disappeared.
Right. Right. And I like that analogy, man. And so I'm just gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add to your analogy because what you're saying is absolutely right. And just so everybody knows, what Dominic is doing is he basically is giving an analogy. He started with Naruto, but he started, I know not everybody knows what Naruto is. And so now what he's done is we've gone into Call of Duty. And what he mentioned is, handling your emotions and the importance of your emotional intelligence is the same as being able to see the entire map when you're in this particular game. Because in the game, if you don't see the map, you can't see the outliers. You can't see where your enemies are coming from. You can't see your, the places that you're going to be able to go to re-up and get your ammo and all these various things. And that's the equivalent to not taking hold or having your emotional intelligence in place. Because when you just react, and I love that he said that, when you just make emotional reactions and impulses, it builds up to negativity. And so, Dominic, do me a favor, man, come right back up so that we can keep on that conversation, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So as he comes back up, I just want to touch on that for a minute because that was a great analogy, and I love when people come up and they have like great value to add. And in what he was saying, that emotional reaction, that's the reaction where you don't have control of your emotions. You're not accessing the ability to perceive what's going on with you or how you're feeling. You're not accessing how you can properly use your emotions in those moments. You're not properly understanding what's going on with you, so you're lashing out. You're not managing what's happening, so you can't handle the emotions that are going on, which leads to chaos. So I'm glad you back up, Dominic. Like, what else you got for me, man? Because that was great. I like the Naruto direction, but I know that not everybody may understand the Naruto, but we can tap into that Call of Duty piece really good on that map. So go ahead, rock with me, man. Talk to me.
That was just from like that's just an example from like the whole, but I have like a belief system as well. Like
okay, go ahead.
I know beliefs. I know people believe in like different things and considering like their capabilities and opinions and perspectives. But like I believe emotions. Like I believe like becoming more consciously aware of like ourselves, like what we like what we brought like the last conversation, like conscious decisions. Like we can like and perseverance also like helps like build upon like the emotion like frustration, boredom.
Right.
It solidifies our mind. I don't know, like that's just a helpful emotional like thing, but it helps me. It helps me like build a more mindful foundation for my emotional awareness.
Okay.
Just for social intelligence. I know I'm not the best social person, but
right.
I feel like if we can build more social solidity, it'll be like like the frustration. Like you'll be able to persevere through like frustrating tasks, and when you persevere through frustrating tasks, like I said, like the you before when you be like you now, like you just persevere through something that you didn't even think you would persevere through because you were so into your emotions that you still persevere through it. So like now you can take that into like life, for example.
Yeah.
Let's say someone's like your mom jokes. I know nobody like no one talks about that mom. Like, I remember back then
your mama jokes, like, yeah.
Yeah, like,
I'm with you on that.
But when you get like that that emotional and mindful barrier, it's like, okay, like what is this guy talking about? Like now you just so it's not like you're nonchalant about it. It's just the fact like things become irrelevant to things become relevant to them, but it's irrelevant to you because you can see a whole bigger picture than that. You become more reasonable, more rational in decisions because like you can see a bigger picture than what they're talking about. I feel like I would say it goes into maturity, but I believe like even a mature person has problems with emotions. But I believe like it's like the building of the mind because just like how like let's say fire burns, fire burns the skin. That's a feeling. People ties feelings with emotions, but emotions are inside. Emotions burn the skin from the inside.
That's good. That's good.
So like something might poke us from it. The words might poke us because we're listening to our 2 ears. We're listening to like the words people say. They might poke us from the inside, like how fire would burn us from the outside. So it's like we build like resilience to things. But I mean, we just have to be aware to what pokes and what doesn't poke, and what we let poke,
right?
And how we articulate ourselves around what pokes and doesn't poke. Because you can either overreact about the fire, or you can just move your arm or hand away from the fire, or you can make situations worse, or make situations far less relevant in a learning lesson, I believe.
Wow, man, listen, I'm gonna tell you, like, the one, you got a lot of hearts that are going on over here over on IG, and with the hearts that are going on IG, that means that people are feeling what you're saying. And I want to go back to what you said. You said people get emotions and feelings mixed up all the time. Your feelings are what you feel from the outside. Your emotions are what you feel from the inside. So when let's say you get burned by fire, when you get burned by fire, your fire is your feeling. It's burning from the outside. Like, but when people are saying things or things are happening to you, your emotions are burning you from the inside. That's good, bruh. Like that's definitely a lot of good. And I appreciate you jumping up, man. Thank you, Dominic. I'm gonna read some of the comments people put. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So, man, that was Dominic tuning in from Chicago, talking about it. And Desiree, she definitely talked about it. She said, practice makes perfect, especially when it's formed from uncharted territory. And then she kind of went in and she started talking about some other things along those lines. And so she said, this brother makes a lot of sense. Yes, you did make a lot of sense. And so I have somebody else who's about to jump up in here. I have Sahar. It's good to see you, Sahar in the fall. She's going to be coming up in just a second. And what I want to do is I just want to give you guys like just a moment just to say, hey, listen, in this conversation, we're talking about emotions. We tapped in first to dealing on the emotional intelligence. And what I want to highlight is I want to highlight like we're getting away from making those emotional reactions or just those impulse reactions to what's going on in our emotions. And we're taking a look at the whole picture. So we're tapping into our emotional intelligence. And, I love how Dominic broke it down and said, your emotions and feelings are different, right? And I'm just going back and I'm reiterating what he said. Your emotions are from the inside, your feelings are from the outside. So that's a good place to be. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Sahar Nafal. Let's bring her up. And as she comes up, I want everybody to know that you can tune in, jump in on the conversation whenever you like. Please feel free to comment because we want to share those comments. Sahar, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Jarvis. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Excellent. Great topic about emotions. Are there questions, or should I just share with you?
You should just go ahead and share. I don't have any questions direct off, but as we're talking, I'm pretty sure that I'll ask you to expound on something.
Sure. Okay. So what I believe to be true to me, I am a spiritual teacher, guide, channel, medium. I'm in the spiritual realm. And what I believe to be true as far as emotions, that we are not our emotions. We are not our thoughts. We are not our physical body. We are that which is the soul. And the only way to be in touch with our emotions, of course, the physical body carries the emotions and the thought. As an observer, as the soul, when you're aligned with who you are, your emotions will not control you.
Yeah.
And I understand the topic, based on what I heard, is about emotional intelligence. And that goes right along with that. Because our emotional intelligence, the higher frequency that we have, the more work that we've done, the more connected we are to whatever it is that we believe in. It could be God, Christ, whatever it is that you believe in, Allah. Is the higher your consciousness is, the more control of your emotions and the more intelligent your emotions be. But always remember that you are not your emotions or your thoughts, your physical body, but the soul of who you are. That's what I believe.
That is good. And I'm just taking notes as we're talking because everything you're saying is like great stuff. And I will say this, one of the things that I definitely I've always lived by this, and I'm just being a man of faith, just being who I am. I believe in a relationship with God and not a religion. That's something that's really big to me. I kind of turn my back on religion but I embraced that relationship with God. And embracing that relationship with God, I look at myself as being three parts. I am a spirit, I live in a body, and I have a soul. And it goes in line with what you were saying, is that we're not our emotions. We're not these things that everybody says. Yes, we have these bodies, but we're actually the soul. And the way that I break down my soul is my mind, my will, and my emotions, because they all tap into that space. And that's where that space is handled from. And so I really appreciate, how you see it and how you put it out there. And I would just, one of the things that I would ask is, like, if you were talking with someone, and let's say that we were having a conversation with someone who is just emotionally, they're all over the place. What are some of the things, and I know you have limited time, but what are some things that you would give to them as keys to be able to really take hold of their emotional intelligence?
Great question, Jarvis. Mostly, believe it or not, as simple as I am about to share, is connecting to earth, being present to earth. It's called earthing or grounding. Take your shoes off, go and walk on grass, on dirt, in the ocean, on the water, wherever you need to be. People don't understand the power of our earth.
Yeah.
The power of earthing, the power. I just overcame COVID. I had it for about 3 weeks, and
Wow.
I'm just finally over it. And of course, my emotions were all over the place, no matter how grounded I am.
Yeah.
And what really helped me is finding space where there's nobody and going downstairs and finding a patch of grass and sitting there and connecting to earth and grounding myself, finding a tree and hugging the tree and releasing all that is not mine, releasing it. And when you find yourself triggered in any way, whether somebody triggered you or old emotion or wounding, please go outside and connect to nature and release and let go all of it that's no longer serving your highest good, your highest will, your highest purpose, into Mother Earth, and let it be recycled back into Earth. Earthing, you could go on Google and just Google earthing. It's on YouTube, it's on Netflix, and please connect to Mother Earth. She's here to guide us, to love us, to give us all that is beautiful and goodness. And that's what I give everyone, a very simple tool. And of course, meditation, quieting your mind. But earthing is the most powerful thing to control your emotions.
Man, I love that. Thank you so much. And I know you were watching the time as it was going down. Thank you so much. And Sahara, if you had any more to share, please feel free to jump back up. I appreciate the value that you've added.
Sure.
Okay, man, that was Sahara Nafal. She was with me over on the Wisdom app, and she gave some great stuff. Earthing is what she was talking about, and that is just going and just allowing yourself to get back connected with the earth. And so I got her coming back up, so that means that she's got some other good stuff to share. And while she's coming up, I'm going to share what Legal Scorpion has said over here on Instagram. She says emotional awareness / intelligence allows us to communicate effectively, accept criticism, be accountable, the ability to move forward when mishaps occur, being open, and most importantly, accepting your own boundaries and saying no without guilt. That is a great thing to say. So Sahara, you're back with me.
Yes.
Yep.
I want to share one more important thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know how everyone has their own timeline, their own process in life, and we can't judge anybody's process. And every single one of us as a human being who signed up here to be on earth is going to somehow, some way be emotional, or again, have that title of, you're too emotionally charged, or you're too emotionally intelligent, or what have you. One of the things that I really want to invite people to understand, when you invite someone into your life who you call emotionally unavailable, if whether you're somebody you're dating, or it could be your spouse or whatever, understand that whatever it is that you're saying about them is because it's reflecting who you are. If you feel like you keep calling in people that are emotionally unavailable, because there's a part of you that's also emotionally unavailable. And so people feel like, they're constantly pointing the finger, they're constantly judging. If the only way for you to overcome that or stop judging, first of all, to work on and realize that people come to our life in order for us to grow and evolve and become the essence of who we are. And if you feel like it's time for you to let go because you became emotionally more intelligent and aware and becoming the observer of your emotions, and they continue, the best way is to either release them or being the example. They either will come and join you or they will not be ready to be at your frequency, and there's somehow, somewhere, the universe will create a way to release them from your life. So just understand that whomever it is that you call in your life, whether through work, it could be your children as well.
Yeah.
Understand that you are a mirror of relationships. Every relationship in your life is a mirror of you.
That is, I like that. I like that. That is a good wisdom key to give to people. Like the things that you complain about and those people that you bring close to you are pretty much the things that you yourself are dealing with, like the inadequacies that you yourself have. And it's up to you to start changing that in yourself, because then it will change the things that you attract to yourself.
That's right. And that's all I got to say, unless you have any other questions.
Nah.
I so appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. I love to have, I love that the last time you joined, I love this time you joined. My platform is your platform as well. So I appreciate you sharing that bit of wisdom. So thank you so much, Sahar.
Blessings to you, Jarvis.
Yeah, blessings to you as well. Man.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So everybody, that was Sahar Nafal. She is over on the Wisdom app, and I'm pretty sure if you look her up on social media, you'll be able to find her on social media as well. In dealing with our emotions, man, I gotta break for a quick commercial. That's what I gotta do. I gotta break for a quick commercial. So all my people that are over here on Instagram, do not go anywhere, unless you're gonna go jump on to Facebook at The Original Jarvis, or on YouTube, Jarvis Henderson TV, to start catching this on live and start interacting on that side. But stay here with us. This is a commercial that we're going to have. This commercial is going to be very quickly. And while the commercial is going on, I'm also going to communicate with you guys as well, so you have an idea of what's going on. If you would like to join in the conversation, please feel free to tap the join button, request to join, and I will bring you up. You get 5 minutes, and this is great. And then we stick into the conversation a little bit longer. But enjoy this quick commercial break. And as soon as we come back from this commercial break, we're going to go on with the rest of our conversation. Welcome back, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed that commercial break. I was just talking about what you were watching if you were over on the other end. Man, this has been a great conversation. We just had Sahar Nafal, who just got off, and she was talking to us about some things. She mentioned earthing, connecting back with the earth. She also mentioned that, if you attract a certain type of person to you that's in your inner circle, and you feel like this person, and she used the analogy of the person being emotionally unavailable. She was like, well, the chances are you yourself are emotionally unavailable, and that's why you attract the person who's emotionally unavailable. So what it is that you are, you will attract. And she said the onus pretty much is on you to start changing that around, to start attracting the right people. And I think that was a great thing. I want to go and I want to start touching on some of these things in the emotional intelligence piece, as far as your ability to perceive, use, understand, manage, and handle emotions. And in doing those things, in handling and using and perceiving and all of these other things that go along with the emotional intelligence piece, I want to help you understand what that looks like when you tap into emotional intelligence. When you tap into emotional intelligence and you start understanding for yourself how you are feeling it helps you to lead better. It helps you to parent better. It helps you to love better and love stronger, because now you have this ability to set aside just your personal emotions. And I love what Dominic said about feelings. It's feelings are what are on the outside, emotions are what are on the inside. So as you're handling these emotions and you're taking control of these emotions, you can now identify what's going on with someone else. One of the things that I've always been very, very good at, and I don't want to say always, I learned to become better at this as a leader, is when I'm leading people, I pay attention to their rhythms. And I know this kind of taps into a little bit of what we were talking about yesterday. We had talked about, just being aware of how others are feeling, and that's where we get into these emotions. So in being able to look at somebody who I'm leading, if their rhythms are off, now I can start asking questions. If they're showing up late for work, then I try to look at what's going on in their personal life, and I'm asking the questions so that I can see, okay, where are they at? Instead of allowing myself to be angry and upset just because somebody shows up late, or angry, upset because they don't get a job done, or angry, upset because they handle somebody the wrong way, I stop and I don't let my personal feelings and my personal situations affect how I'm going to handle them. Because as a leader, whether you're a parent, leader of your household, leader of a team, leader of a business, one of the things that's important for us to do is to be able to keep a level head, to be able to process what's going on around us, to see and have oversight over those people who we call ourselves leading. So something that I've always done is, whenever, let's say, a person doesn't show up for a call, they missed the call. My call to them is not, why weren't you on the call? You should have been on the call. We started the call at 7:00. Why didn't you show up on the call? That is not my response, because I have no idea what is happening with that individual behind the scenes. All I know is that they were not on the call. So when I do reach out to them, my reach out is more of a text of, hey, just wanted to check on you, see how things are going, or is everything okay with you? And the reason I ask that question is because anything can be happening on the other end. You have no idea what's going on in that person's life, right? So when I get a chance to talk to them, hey, man, we really missed you on the call the other night, but I wanted to make sure you're good. Is everything okay? And it could be easy. They overslept. Well, if they overslept and you're tapping into emotional intelligence, it means that either they're working too much or not getting enough rest, or both. And if they're not getting enough rest and it's not due to work, then there's other things that are going on in their life that needs attention. And it's up to us as leaders, friends, peers, to identify and help them get through whatever it is they're going on. I have a team of volunteers that help me with my impact team. And these team of volunteers, if they have anything going on with their family, one of the first things I tell them, and one of the first things I send across to them when they start to talk to me, is family first. You focus on your family. I'm here for you. And if there's anything I can do, I will do it. Notice I said, if there's anything that I can do, I will do it, because I want them to know that they're supported. It's not just a template comment that I have, or a template conversation that I have. It's really sincere and it's genuine and it's from my heart, saying, hey, I'm here for you. I got you. And it's when you're identifying and utilizing your emotional intelligence. One of the things that I want to help you understand is, let's say that we have you under control. Let's say that everything that you're dealing with is you understand how to manage your personal emotions to go through the day, right? Then you have to start equating things. Let's say somebody has an outburst. They just have an outburst, an angry outburst, and they're just yelling and fussing at everybody. Well, instead of looking at it as that's an angry person, why not look at it and say, okay, that outburst is a cry for help in some area of their life. Maybe they're dealing with loss. Maybe they're dealing with a bad breakup. Maybe they're dealing with, their children are hungry and they don't got enough money to feed them. Maybe they're dealing with, they slammed their hand in the door of a car and you just happen to be the next person that came along. But that outburst is not necessarily mean that they are an angry, evil, vengeful type of person. It could very well just mean that they have, it's a request for help in some other area of their life. Let's say that there's a person who just goes on this crazy political rant, right? And they're just talking, and they're just blah, 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 and this, that, and they're telling you all that. They're telling you all this other stuff, right? So what if they're not really that political? What if they're just hungry? Seriously, what if they just need a cheeseburger? We've seen the commercial. You've seen the Snickers bar commercial, the hangry commercials, where they turn into a totally different person, and then somebody identifies and sees, like, uses emotional intelligence, is like, yo, you're hungry. Here, take this Snickers, and they feed them, right? And in feeding them, they create this, they take the person back to who they are. It's like a settling type of thing. So what if that's the case? What if that's the case? Or maybe they're nervous and they don't know, like they're just trying to start small talk. Let's take a person, let's say if a person has like, oh, and this is a good one, and this is where a lot of people will land. They have forceful happiness or forceful jolly or forceful playfulness. That forceful playfulness, yes, they're smiling and they're laughing and they're joking on the outside. And you can tell the difference between genuine playfulness and forceful playfulness. You're like, man, this person is trying too hard. That forceful playfulness, what if that is actually a mask to cover up pain that they're feeling on the inside? Meaning that they're smiling on the outside, but they're hurting on the inside. So they're showing you the emotion of happiness and joy, but the reality is they're feeling the emotion of hurt and pain. That happens. But if we are not tapped in and we don't have the ability to perceive what's going on, and we don't have the ability to understand other people's emotions, then we won't have the ability to manage and handle the emotions that are being thrown at us. If you work in a public space, right? Let's say you work with customers. One of the things that I remember while I was working, actually in every job that I had, and this is why I said over time, I learned how to take better control of my personal emotional intelligence. Like my emotional intelligence was groomed over some time in dealing with customer facing positions and situations. So I remember I worked in retail, and when I worked in retail, I remember people would come in and they would be so mad. They just felt like the best way for them to get a discount or the best way for them to get their money back was to slam the receipt on the counter and just go off. Like just da 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 da. And I remember the first time that happened to me, I knew the policy. The company policy was we didn't return things after a certain point. I knew what the black and white had told me, meaning like I knew what the training manual had told me. But I was looking at the situation and I'm listening to this lady just go off and yell at me. And I just asked a couple of questions. My first question was this: ma'am, how can I help you? Because I really want to help you. And I stayed calm. And she was like, well, and immediately she went into talking about the argument and everything that she had with her husband, and how their lights were off in their house. And it's amazing the things that people will start to share with you when you ask a simple question and you stay calm. And it's not even that they're trying to get anything from you. It's just that right now they're feeling one emotion, they're projecting another emotion, and now you're the one who's receiving it because you're across the counter from them, right? So as you're receiving these things from them, you have to position yourself to say, I am here to help you. How can I take this bad moment and make it a moment that you walk away with a smile on your face? Not that you're giving away the house, not that you're giving them all their money back unless it calls for it, not that any of those things, not that you're breaking rules or anything of the sort. You're listening. You're basically standing there, receiving what this person is telling you, and now you're making an intelligent choice on what you can do. It's further than the black and white. It's further than the manual. Because anybody who's been through any type of training, there's always these scenarios that they give you, and they say, in this scenario, boom, 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 and they tell you how to handle it in that scenario through black and white. And one of the things that I've always been firm on whenever I've worked in development programs, whenever I've trained people, is I've told them, listen, what you're reading right here is not always going to line up with what's happening in real life. And in real life, you have to pay attention to what that person is saying to you, because you are here to be the superhero in that person's life right there in that moment to make things better for them. They're not asking you to be, but they need you to be. And that's how I approach these situations. And so I remember that situation with that woman. And once I heard what she had to say, I understood she was dealing with a little bit of fear. She was dealing with a little bit of anger with her husband. She was dealing with a little bit of hurt because what she had asked him to do, he did not do. And now they don't have their lights on, and she really needed her money back. It's not even like the stuff was never even worn. Now, some of you are going to say, okay, but you're breaking policy. No, I'm not breaking policy. What I'm doing is I'm making a judgment call. Does everybody who comes in and give you a story like that deserve? No, they don't. And you got to use wisdom, because there's been plenty of times where people have come in. I think the worst that somebody told me is a guy came pulled me aside, and he didn't want me to charge him for something. And his reasoning to me was like, man, I'm dying. And I was just like, man, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's all I could say. That's all I could say. It didn't mean that I'm going to give you the house because you're dying. No, there's things that I definitely have to stand to, but you always have the opportunity to become the superhero in somebody's life. Now, let me give you balance to that. In that particular situation, I definitely went ahead and refunded the woman's money so that she could do what she had to do and help in that situation. But there are other situations where you have to find another solution. And the solution is, this is what I can do. And they're going to be okay with what you can do. They may push back, but as long as you're not yelling and snapping and you're listening, and you're paying attention, you're going to be able to assist them. If you work in any environment where you're dealing with other people, one of the things that I want to challenge you to do is, when somebody comes to you and they're coming at you brash and they're coming at you hard, or they're coming at you and it seems very offensive, I want you to stop in that moment, and I want you to just identify where you're at personally. Don't take it personal what they're saying, because what they're saying is not to you. It's a spill off of whatever they have going in their life. And that's one thing I want you to remember. It's a spill off of what they have going on in their life. You have immediately, because you are across the counter, you're across the behind the screen on the other end of the phone from wherever they are, you have immediately become the receptor of every negative thing that's been going on in their life. And if you tap into emotional intelligence, you'll be able to stop and perceive in that situation what's going on with them, because you're listening to the things that they're telling you. You're going to be able to utilize and understand and manage the moment and the emotions of the moment. You're not going to take it personally. You're going to be able to uplift them and help them to change their frown into a smile. Even if you can't change their frown into a smile, guess what? At the end of the day, they're going to remember that in that situation, you were the person who saved the day. Just something to think about. All right. It's just something to think about. As we go through this, and we're talking about emotional intelligence, as we go through this and we're talking about emotions, I'm going to tap on emotions for the next few days. We're going to talk about a few good things. I'm going to talk about emotional intelligence and how to utilize your emotional intelligence as a leader in the corporate space. I'm going to talk about, let me go ahead and look at my notes because I have it all written down. Look at that. We're going to talk about how to be happier. I'm going to talk about the upside of having bad moods at times. We're going to talk about, secrets to mental health and secrets to mental strength. We're going to talk about finding calm in stressful times. We're going to talk about, reasons why we cry and the strength behind being able to shed our tears. There's going to be a lot of things that we're going to talk about, and we're going to tap in on these things. And I want you to be able to jump in on this. And I know some of these things we're going to cover multiple things in the session, but hey, we're going to have fun with this. So I'm going to give us another commercial break, and this commercial break is going to be one that's going to show people how to register for the Impact Rally. And if you are on any of the platforms and you want to jump in on the conversation, please feel free. If you have any questions, go ahead and hit the question button. If you want to register for the Impact Rally, whether it's virtual, in person, or as virtual in person, you want to be a VIP or you want to be a general admission, I'm telling you, get your ticket before the end of the night tonight. There's a $75 off Impact sale that's going on. Decided to let you know that. So let's go ahead and let's run this commercial. And after this commercial break, we'll come back and I'll give you guys some great parting words, man. And then there's another commercial break that we're going to have, and then we'll get up out of here. So I like to play music on the way out, and we're going to be playing something that has to do with emotions tonight. So we're going to ride out to that too as well. So,
hey, what are you waiting for? Go register for the Impact Rally now.
Yo, welcome back, everybody. I'm glad to have you back from that commercial break. I was just sharing some secret sauce with them on the other end. All right, so for those of you who are over on YouTube, all you got to do is like in your drop down, hit the comment section. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and send the comment over to everybody over on YouTube so you guys can see it. What up, YouTube? So that should pop up in your comment section. But yeah, listen, tonight has been good. We've gotten some. I see you, Des. We've gotten some great value added from a couple of pop up guests off of the Wisdom app, and I'm always glad when people can jump in and pop up off of the Wisdom app. Again, this topic, the topic that we're on now is we're talking about emotions. It's all about emotions. So tomorrow will be It's All About Emotions Part 2, and I will put just a small little caption of what we're going to talk about. So it may be how to be happier. It may be, secrets to mental strength, mental health, maybe finding the calm in a stressful world. It may be, why do we cry and the strength behind crying, but we're going to take it to the next level. If there's anything that I want you to take away from tonight, I want you as individuals to please take the time and tap into your own personal emotions. Own your emotions. Don't deflect your emotions off on other people. Don't throw your emotions off on other people. And remember what Dominic mentioned. Dominic mentioned that your feelings and your emotions are separate things. They're not the same things. Your emotions come from the inside. Your feelings come from the outside. That's why we have the sense of feel, the sense of touch, where we can touch and feel things. We don't have the sense of emotion. So when something's poking you on the outside of you, that's your feelings. But when something's poking at you on the inside of you, that's your emotions. And remember the things that we talked about, and not being having emotional reactions, and not just reacting off of emotional impulses. Don't make a permanent decision based off of a short-term situation or a temporary emotion, so to speak. Do not make permanent decisions based off of temporary emotions. No matter what something looks like, take the time to really dive into it. Whether you're working with somebody in a business situation, whether you're working with a team, whether you're leading volunteers, whether it's somebody who's not showing up, whether it's in a dating situation or in a marriage, do not make an immediate decision. Do not make a long-term decision based off of a short-term emotion or a short-term feeling, so to speak, but emotion, a short-term emotion. Because if you do that, then you're reacting and you're not responding to it. And when you're listening to others, I encourage you to listen with an ear to receive what's being said so that you can understand. Don't just sit there and take notes and try to get ready to rebuttal and respond, okay? Or just to respond. You don't want to rebuttal. You want to be able to receive and then make a response based off of the actual well thought out. This is what I feel. This is what I've taken in, and I got you. So I'm going to run one more commercial, everybody. This commercial is actually right now my favorite commercial. It talks about the sale that we have going on tonight. So you want to pay attention to it. Actually, if you're over on IG, you're not going to see it. If you're on Wisdom, you're not going to see it. But you will be able to listen to it. And I can kind of describe it to you if you like. But enjoy this commercial. Hey, listen, you all. That I told you that is my favorite commercial. That thing it brings joy to my heart to see that little man dancing like that. So tonight we're about to get out of here with music like we always do. And in the music that we're going to utilize to get out of here tonight, it's going to be something tapped into emotions. So, hey, if you know songs about emotions, maybe you can guess what the song is going to be. And if not, you about to hear it. All right. So here you go. Hey, yo, so we getting out of here tonight to Mariah Carey, Emotions. Y'all see it, y'all hear it. Man, all my people over here on IG, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Legal Scorpion, I look forward to connecting some more and talking about some stuff, girl. I will holla at y'all later. Y'all have a good night, man. We out of here over here. And all my people over here on YouTube and Facebook, I'm so glad that you were able to join and tune in. Man, you guys have a great evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow evening at 9:30. Holla at ya.